Alright, I lied. Sorry, I'm mouse on my other screen. We're doing Harris next because I just got done doing Wall Crasher, and she's who I used to kill Wall Crasher, and this character's really broken, and people have not really talked about her at all. I've been using her for like the past several months, ever since she got her gunner mod, and then when they introduced the bunny rework, it made her even stronger. Well, it didn't make her that much stronger, but it made her easier to play. Sorry, let me, something on my other screen give me pop-ups there. Just gonna close that. Anyways, so yeah, this character's incredibly broken. This is just gonna be, this is gonna be a bossing build, so it does a lot of damage. So this is just a Wall Crasher, 200 million DPS single target. So as you can see, it's not okay. Like, people talk about how broken Serena is, and Serena needed nerfed, and then Serena prior to this was capable of doing like 40 million single target, and Harris is here doing like 200 million DPS, and for some reason we're nerfing Serena. They like nerfed Serena's DPS by like 90% or something like that, so she actually does also like less AoE damage than Harris does in mobbing not too. So Harris is just, if you're gonna run a Gunner Descendant, Harris is just better in every single way. She's also just way easier to play, like phenomenally easier to play. But I'm not gonna go over the mobbing build right now. It doesn't matter, actually. I can just go over it. It's like the same thing. You may as well just run them both the same. So yeah, we'll just do the same in both. You can run this for Wall Crasher, and you can also run this for just mobbing. Like, if you want to go into Onslaught with this, it works too. So let's go into, I'll go over the weapons first, because I don't know why, I just always go over those first. So this is the first one, it's Piercing Light. This is what's on it. It's pretty basic. It's a multi-hit gun. We do have 20% fire rate here on both those cores, and I don't know what the breakpoint is, but I will show you. Those are the options. I'll show you in a second why it's important to have that fire rate, because this build won't work until you've assembled it. It's like Exodia. So you do have to get all the pieces before it starts working. This one's not perfect, and I still did 200 million DPS on Wall Crasher, so I could have actually done more. This doesn't matter. It can be whatever the heck you want. I was just leveling Frenzied Locomotive. If I had to pick something, probably like Volsha, because it's good with Void Shields. If you're not doing Onslaught 4 and you're doing like Onslaught 3, it could be pretty good. So maybe like Volsha or something. Or you can just do like a Racer with Veil Analyzer. So, but I mean, if you want to see what my Frenzied Locomotive is built like, here you go. I don't know. I'll show it real quick. It does pretty good damage. It's fine. It's an interesting weapon. I wish it was a little bit stronger, but... next is a Racer. This is just the strongest gun in the game. If you've seen my new player guides, I recommended Restored Relic. That was before this gun was buffed. This gun was buffed. It's just the best weapon, so just use this one. Basically, it just hits like the entire screen in front of you with toxic rounds that do a bunch of damage to everything. So this is how I have it built. I do have expand impact magazine here, so you can replace multi-sights with sharp precision shot if you want to, because Harris can fire forever. She's auto reloading, and it's going to do way more damage. The problem is, and I haven't actually like tried it in a real match, so I do need to run her in Onslaught 4. I haven't done it in Onslaught 4 yet. I've only done it in 3. And 3 has Void Shield, so it's annoying, so I was just not running sharp precision shot because it was too many mods. But OS 4 doesn't have that, so I'd probably go back to trying to sharp precision shot, and I'll let you guys know if I do that. I mean, screw it. I mean, let's just do it right now. Oh, actually, there is a reason you can't run sharp precision. She has too much fire rate. You actually can't run this. So, well, you sort of can. You have to change up the build if you want to run this. It is a lot more damage. It is substantially more damage because this mod is insane when you actually get it going. It's a very insane mod. It's just a ton of damage. I'm not going to go over that in this build. Maybe that'll be its own video on how you can actually get this to run, and it will give you like 50% more damage. But we're not going to go over that, because even if you don't run sharp precision shot and you're just doing like this, sorry, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video because this character is weird, I guess, and I'm talking about guns. So, and whenever you have a gunner character, you just have to talk about like 4 times as much stuff. Even without sharp precision shot, she still out damages Serena, so by like a lot. So you may as well just not run sharp precision shot. But if you want to get more out of it, you can run sharp precision and you have to like run a hyper specific build for it. Basically, you have to run the build that you ran before electric display existed, which is a lot harder to play, and you have to think more, and it's more challenging. So, yeah, if people want that, I can go over a video with it, but I don't think it's worth it. This just flows. This one just flows so nicely. So yeah, those are the weapons. This is what you use for AoE. This is you can use for single target. Yeah, and then just whatever other gun you want to run at the end here. Probably like Shackles of Mortality or something is pretty good, but Frenzy Locomotive is pretty good on her too because she has multi-hit chance increase, and that thing scales with multi-hit chance really well. It does okay damage. I'll go over the inversion reinforcement really quick. We take weak point damage. We're multi-hit, so the crit doesn't do anything for us. So yeah, it's just weak point damage. And then HP because she doesn't have mana. And then I take the resistances because she can take a hit, so the reducing incoming damage isn't that big of a deal. But realistically, you could probably like change this for this. It doesn't matter. She's tanky as crap. So like 40,000 HP and 91,000 defense. You're not going to get hit and killed. It doesn't matter. So HP dog because you don't have mana, right? So you're not Serena, so you get to just build like twice as tanky as well. I have Ascending Armory for skill cost and mainly just HP. You don't have to run this. You can do whatever you want with this. But you do want to hit 37,000 HP plus shields. So you can see I'm over that. I'm at 40,000. That's due to my Ancestor mod. But you do need to hit 37,000 to get the highest from her firearm attack increase. So you need Shell Crusher. This is the best damaging mod that you can get on like any gunner. Is just this thing. Unfortunately, Serena has a hard time running with it because she runs out of ammo, but this character has infinite ammo, so you can take this too. So I mean, like the odds are just I'm ranting. Sorry, I should stop talking about it. I'm angry that they nerfed her because I'm angry at how they nerfed her, not that they did nerf her. She needed a nerf in some capacity. Just what they did wasn't the right choice. This is what I'm running. So if you're doing like mobbing, you can just get rid of these 3 points, but it's not really like that much of a difference. Like you could, I think I have a mobbing one here. Let me just show you. Yeah, so this is the mobbing one that I run. This is bugged though. I don't know why, but like some guns it's not working, which hurts her quite a bit because it hurts her round recovery, and I'm not sure why it does that. Maybe if somebody can explain what's wrong with that, let me know. But yeah, I mean, you can still run this. Like you have to fight a Colossus at the end of Onslaught, so, and our Piercing Light, because we don't use it to just kill random monsters, has Colossus damage. So honestly, probably just run this for mobbing too. At least if you're doing Onslaught. If you're doing like a daily quest, obviously you don't need it, but you also doesn't matter because you're gonna one-shot everything in a daily quest. Oh yeah, defense neutralization. Anyways, that's all the components in it. We want duration. The only thing that matters in this build is like duration is really important. Just stack as much duration as you can. Duration and HP. It's the exact same thing as Serena. So that's everything else. Let me talk about how the build actually works. So prior to electric display, you would probably use like either Kuiper Point hollow rounds, or you would use the emission one. I forget what it's called, but Wave Eruption just for like damage reduction. But you don't need to do that anymore because you can run this. So what this does is when you have an acceleration type enhancement on and you hit something with a normal AoE, you get back ammo and mana. This is like the first electric display I found too, and it rolled insane. But this is a normal AoE, and its acceleration enhancement is both on the same ability. So basically, this is also your firing enhancement. So this is basically the equivalent of Serena's Redemption if you're more familiar with Serena and you haven't played this character before. This is the same thing as Redemption. This is what gives you all of your firearm damage. You want 100% uptime on this, and that's the most important part. So you can see that's why I have like duration, and then this I think has duration in it too. So we just have like 200% duration or something. Just get all the duration that you can get is the main thing. So it also just like helps her on this stuff as well. So these are, she gets firing enhancement based on her from her like base kit. The change is that her toxin levels give her firing enhancements rather than like enhancements to skill power and stuff. But this is the big one. So this is the moment that you use this, your firearm damage like triples, and then every single bullet procs this thing. So I'll show you that real quick, just so I can show you. So you can see I have like 15 rounds, right? And I hit this, and then I'll show you on this one because I'm gonna get more rounds back. So see how I just start getting rounds back, and I'm just like at maximum rounds. So that's electric display. It just does that. So you just get infinite ammo. It's so seamless. It's so dumb, and you don't have to worry about reloading because they took reloading out of the kit too. So if you hit with her skill 1, you get a buff, and it makes it so that way you auto reload. So there you go. That's why you can run sharp precision shot on any gun that you want. I really hope. Sorry, I don't know how loud my mic is because I don't know what NVIDIA is doing. I've never recorded with NVIDIA software before. This is my first time doing it, and I'm going to do like 6 videos on it without me ever checking it ahead of time. Like a dumbass. So, but yeah, the whole thing is like, this thing gives you a shield like it does before. This thing's totally unchanged. This thing makes it so that way, and you lose this buff if you change your firearm, by the way, but it gives you auto reloading and it gives you movement speed. So basically just use it on your current firearm, and you don't even have to hit anything. You just have to press the button, and then you get auto reloading, in my case, for 40 seconds, which is a ridiculously long time, and then use this to get your ammo back. And it gives you your firearm damage. So that's the crux of it. This thing also, so if you wanted to, the old build before electric display existed is you needed a lot of skill cost reduction, and then this is what would replenish all of your ammunition, because this will give you ammunition back. So if you did that build, it allows you to run sharp precision shot on everything, because the combination of electric display plus this thing is literally infinite ammo. You are Glay effectively, but you do need every single one of these buffs. So it changes her passes, like I said, to give her firing changes. So in this case, you're getting 6% fire rate at every single stage. So you need all of these buffs. So if you do the other build, you have to get a lot of skill cost reduction. And when you have a lot of skill cost reduction, it can be difficult to move through these different levels of this buff quickly, because it can be difficult to spend the resource fast enough. But you need to be spending the resource to get your ammo back to run sharp precision shot. That is only an issue if you're hitting the fire rate cap, by the way, which usually you are, because she gets 38%, or she gets 18% from just these passives. I'm just gonna let you read them. It's multi-hit chance buff. It's 100% firearm attack damage, and then it's like 18% fire rate. So it's an insane amount of buffs. You do need them, and you do want them all. And she'll hit pretty much the fire rate cap on like everything. So if you are gonna try and do that, you may not hit it as much in like an actual match because you're not firing 24/7, but I don't know. The option's out there. It's a ton of damage if you run it, but you have to run electric display and a skill cost reduction build to have both of these going to give you enough ammo to just hold the button down forever. You're like firing button. Other than that, this does scale with range. It doesn't show it. That's like the theme of this video and every other video. This goes up to the range cap again. My assumption is that if you don't see a max expandable range on it, then it probably goes up to the cap. But there's some abilities that show that. I don't know, man. Recently they've been really bad with these tooltips, but this one does go up to the cap, and then this one does too. So that's why there's skill expansion on here. Is just I have bio expansion just for the HP and a little bit of range, and then this has some range on it. So both of those together just allow these abilities to connect more. It's kind of handy because we are using this gun, and so you can see it like zooms in, and you can't really like change that as far as I'm aware, but you have to be aiming down sights with this gun to do damage. And so you kind of want to be far away because it makes it easier to aim it. So it's janky, I don't know. Regardless, you can build as tanky as you want. This isn't the build that I wanted to show. But yeah, you can run the skill cost reduction build. I'm not going to go over it. If you guys want to see it, just let me know and I'll make a video for it. But this is just going to feel better, and it just doesn't require anything, because the moment you have a good electric display, by the way, you just need yellow, blue, yellow. The MP recovery doesn't matter at all. It's just you just need the rounds recovery. Once you have electric display, it's just like a one button build. You pretty much just get your 3 buffs from your passive by increasing your toxin level. So use these to increase your toxin, get your 3 buffs, press this, let it run down to 0, and then build it back up. You just have to do that once every 40 seconds, basically, and then press this whenever it runs off. So And you'll just have like infinite ammo, auto reloading, everything. It's very seamless, very easy, incredibly tanky. Great mobility. I don't know. It's everything. Is there anything on here that's unintuitive that I'm not showing? By the way, this is a tangent. I can go over this. This ability does work with melee weapons. It doesn't tell you that it does, but it does work. And it actually works with the special of your melee weapon. So it works with Manus's special ability and works with Hypernova's special ability, which does not work on any other Descendant in the game as far as I'm aware. I think she's the only one that gets it, and it doesn't tell you that it does it, but it does. And you can do some pretty insane melee damage with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't have, if you watched my Berserker Nez video, or Plasma Ball, I guess, updated Berserker Nez, it doesn't do that level of damage because you just don't have like the multiple overlapping quadratic scaling cleaves. But it does probably the most single target melee weapon damage in the game that you can do, and it is still very capable. So I don't know. I figure I should there. I'm not going to go over that build maybe one day, or if people ask for it yet again. If people ask for any build, I'll show you it, but otherwise just it's me ranting. But this is the build. Sorry this is taking so long. There's probably not going to be timestamps in these. These are just, I'm just trying to crap these out really quick because there's just been so many changes and I haven't been on top of it. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I might change is like you could probably take out like these two things and like pick up this if you want for like a general mapping thing. Is let me show you how to play it. So like I said, you have to build up your buffs. So you can see I don't have them right now. You can see it's right next to my fourth ability. That's your buff bar. It shows you what buffs you have. So once you spend one, you will get that. That gives us cooldown reduction. So it's important to just press like your 1 first, that way you get the cooldown reduction. So if you're like, let's pretend this is Wall Crasher. All right. We'll pretend this is Wall Crasher. So I'm going in to teach this old man a lesson, right? So I go in, I do that. That gives me my cooldown. I jump and I hit the floor a few times. I get the cooldown reduction on that because I didn't hit anything. I activate this thing to get my firearm attacks. And then I miss aiming because I'm stupid. And then you just start shooting the boss. Right? Right, 200 million damage. And that's without having a perfect roll on this thing. I'm still missing like 3,000 attack or something on it. Boss is dead. So what happened? Because that like I said, this is builds like Exodia. You have to get all the pieces for it to work. So once you get, if you are using, I'm gonna let my buffs run out here, and I'll show you why this won't work right away for you if you're trying to do that. So it is important. I don't know what the threshold is, but you do need both of those fire rate cores, and you need them at some high amount. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what the number is off the top of my head. I would say probably just go for 19s and 20s if you can get them. Obviously, probably the higher the better, because I don't think you reach the fire rate cap on this gun. But the way piercing light works, because we're going to go over that now, is when you hit something while aiming down sights, you will put a target on them. And when you hit that target again, while aiming down sights, you have to be aiming down sights. It doesn't work with hip firing. So that's one of the reasons I want to cover that. Then it will do an explosion behind the target and also 555% firearm damage. So basically you are getting 5 times the amount of damage whenever you're aiming down sights. If you do not have the correct amount of fire rate, whatever it is, then this is what's going to happen. See how it's going in and out of the aiming? Once you have all of the pieces, and you have your 3 buffs from the Harris passive, see how easily I'm able to move through those buff levels because I'm not running the skill cost build? So once I have the 18% from here, and I have the 2 fire rate cores, it will get to the point where it does not cause you to exit the aiming down sights. So yet again, I'll just show you really quick. So we do that, we proc the first buff with cooldown, we hit this a few times, you do that, you do this, and you can see it's not making me leave the aim down sights mode. So once you have all that, that is specifically for doing single target damage. And it does an insane amount of damage. So as you can tell, it is the highest in the game. I'm pretty confident of that. So if you're having trouble with Lava Citadel, this guy's kind of annoying. Let me show you how easy it is. This is basically 0 critical point, but this is the same stats as when you fight the boss. Boom. Boom. So if you want your vouchers for the week, very easy. Just go walk in and kill him 5 times. It takes about 15-20 seconds. Or whatever that was. I cleared the numbers, but you saw it wasn't very quick. Or it wasn't very slow. My bad. So that's that. But this gun required me to specifically talk about it. For everything else, it doesn't matter. It's exactly what you would think it would be. So you just like... You know, you press that, get your firearm buff. If you hit multiple things, you get more stacks of this, so that's kind of cool. But otherwise, you know. This one you can actually hit fire. So if you want to hit fire, you can. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's everything to cover for Harris. She's insanely powerful at the moment. As you can see, it's just this having electric display with this button right here is just really silly. You get auto reloading, you get infinite ammo, you get insane tankiness, you get great mobility, you get overshields, you get CC because this thing knocks things down. I don't know. She's just like the strongest gunner in the game at the moment. So if you want to do an actual thing with gunning, I know a lot of people like Glay as well, but Harris is just better than Glay. You just do way more damage. Glay cannot do this jankiness with this thing. So, because Glay doesn't get a 20% fire rate increase as part of her kit. So, you will not be able to do the aim down sights tech. So, Glay caps out at like 80 to 100 million DPS, I think. But because you can do this jankiness with Harris, you know, you can just blow the surfaces of the sun away when you fire this thing. So, that's everything. Sorry for it being a longer video, but it warranted an explanation of her entire kit, how it works, how you put it together. And then, yeah, if you want to, you don't actually have to run this if you don't want to, but you would want to like replace some of the optional stuff in here like this and this with basically just like, it's only gonna take me 2 seconds to show you. So it's just, use a Transcendent mod with the highest possible duration that you can get, and then try to get effect range because this is what's gonna restore your ammo. So you do want to max out your effect range as much as you can, because if this misses, you can hit the floor and it will return ammo, but if you hit the sky, it will not return ammo, believe it or not. It's very weird. But yeah, you would just take like maximize conservation. You would take whatever comfortable level of Final Wish with her 4th ability to make it so that way you can still move through the different toxin levels effectively, to keep all of her buffs up, while not like auto depleting it. And then basically while this is running, you get 30% damage reduction from the wave emission, because you can swap this out if you don't want to run it, or you can run both. Like I said, you can just run both if you want. But the other one gives you 30% damage reduction, which obviously is pretty good too. And then, yeah, you get the range, you get just as much conservation as you want to feel comfortable, and then basically you just let this run the whole time, and it will just sit there constantly replenishing 4% of your ammunition a tick, so which is half as good as this. So, but it's enough. So, but I do think this is probably just better because it does allow you to like remove expand ammunition on stuff. Like you can take expand ammunition on this and put on like special sight. For some reason the damage doesn't change that much when you do it, but I guess it's just only like 30%, but I can still do like 200 million even without it, so I don't know. but it is just flows better with this, so I just say use this. But that's the other build if you want to run it. It would allow you to run sharp precision shot. With sharp precision shot, the damage on, like, for instance, on a racer on these mobs goes from like 800 million to like 1.3 billion or something. It's some insane number, but you do have to run the skill cost build. And then I think it's actually too much for the game to handle, because when you do that, like, sharp precision shot will just randomly fall off because there's just too many hits going on. But I think that might just be because everything in here doesn't die and there's like 50 mobs, and that's not a real world scenario. I'm just yapping. You guys know me, I love to yap. Anyways, that's the build. So yeah, if you wanted to use the other thing, you could, and just take out some of the, like, stuff that's not required in here, like this, and probably like this and this to go like conservation, and that's about it. Yeah, that's everything. Sorry that one was so long, but it's a weird build. Nobody's talked about it, and I feel like maybe there's other people that have made videos on this, but this has been viable, and I've been using it to blow up wall crashers and all of the colossi for, like, all of the abyss colossi, whatever the things are. I can't get to that screen from here, but all of, like, the abyss colossi for like months, basically since they introduced this mod. Whenever they reworked this one, to be a gunning mod, it's been viable since then, because you just had to get the skill cost reduction. And once you had the skill cost reduction, you could just use expand magazine on your weapon before this existed, and then it would just all work. But now that this works, it's just way easier, so that's whatever. That's the history of it, but it's been like this for like a half a year or something. And it's just insane, and I haven't seen people talk about it, but so now I'm talking about it, and it's disgusting. So try it if you want to try it. Anyways, peace out. Have a nice day.